Before the video begins, I would like to point out that everything we largely know about Professor Fig comes from Hogwarts Legacy, and all footage that is going to be used in the video actually comes from my own Hogwarts Legacy playthrough, apart from at the end where there is some copyrighted material to the Harry Potter franchise. Hello guys, V here. So today we look into Professor Fig. Who is he? Well, from a Hogwarts Legacy point of view, we can see that Professor Fig is very much the Dumbledore to our character, creating the Harry and Dumbledore feeling in the game. He is with us every step of the way, but who is he? Well, let's dig a little, shall we? Professor Fig attended Hogwarts as a child and was sorted into Gryffindor House. And although not much more is known about his time in school, it is apparent that he did very well, as he pursued a career working for the Ministry of Magic. That was until he met Miriam. He married Miriam and the pair pursued her research into ancient magic. Professor Fig did this for many years before eventually growing tired of it and deciding to settle down and become a professor at Hogwarts School, where he taught magical theory. He was considered an enigmatic character, yet well accomplished. However, sometime in the year 1890, Miriam was killed on her travels. The guilt this brought Fig for not being there to defend his wife haunted him, and he pursued her mission in her memory, and that's what leads to the events of Hogwarts Legacy. Before her death, Miriam had sent ministry official and friend to the Figs, George Osric, a box that neither the professor or Osric could open. It's at this time we discover that the professor's new student, who Fig and Osric are transporting to Hogwarts, has the ability not just to see the magic that Miriam had been searching for, but to use it, and uses it to open the box effortlessly in their hands. An action that would start a chain of events, starting with a dragon attack and the death of Osric. At the time of this recording, Hogwarts Legacy is not currently available on all systems, so I will leave a timestamp on the screen now for you to skip to if you wish to avoid any spoilers for the game, as everything I have just showed you can be seen in trailers and indeed within the first few hours of gameplay. So from here on out there will be major spoilers. Professor Fig, along with the main character from Hogwarts Legacy, begin to build on their relationship and chase down the ancient magic along the way. Fig tries his best to tutor the young student, although he is unfortunately sent back to London at one point to tell the ministry what has happened to Osric, and in doing so he tries to tell them of the goblin encounter that he had soon after the dragon attack. Unfortunately, the ministry will not listen to him and his efforts are fruitless. During this time, Fig's student takes matters into their own hands and discovers several important things about ancient magic, including the people who guard it, the Keepers. The Keepers will not hand over their information easily though, and although Fig tries to explain about the ongoings of the outside world, with a goblin trying to access the last repository, they will not allow the student to have access to it, instead putting in motion a series of trials that the student must complete, and must complete alone. Fig often follows the student to the trials and assists him in any way he can along the way, but never ever enters the trials, but often provides the student with crucial information on how to complete the trials. It's after completing the last trial that we become aware that Hogwarts is under attack by Ramrock, a goblin driven mad by power, and it's at this time we see Fig's last actions. Fig decides, after withholding all information from the other Hogwarts professors, to tell them everything, and they all come to help defend Hogwarts and help the student and Fig reach the last repository of ancient magic. It is at this point that Ramrock now appears. He has been one step ahead of them all the way and has always managed to reclaim the repositories before the student and Professor Fig has. It is at this point that he pulls Miriam's wand from his pocket, saying that he's been looking forward to playing with this, and we discover that it was indeed Ramrock who murdered Miriam. With a wave of Miriam's wand, he accesses the repository and turns into a dragon. This leads to a fight between the student and the now ever increasingly powerful Ramrock. After a long battle between the student and Ramrock, Ramrock is defeated. and with so, all of his magic is let loose. The last repository was magic made up of removing people's pain. The magic in this repository could not be understood and should never be used. Desperately, the student tries to contain the magic again, but is struggling to do so alone. It is at this point that Fig yet again resurfaces and uses the last of his strength to help his student contain the magic. Unfortunately, this proves too much for Professor Fig, and he collapses to the ground straight afterwards. As Fig passes away, he has passed his wife's wand and tells his students that he thinks his wife would have been very fond of them. And it's at this point, I believe, that Fig's story becomes a full circle. He started the year out looking for answers and he gets them all. He wanted to make sure his wife's work was not lost and he wanted to find out exactly what happened to her. And he achieved all this at the same time as saving the wizarding community. But that is the Figs in the 1890s. For the Potter fans out there, you are probably already familiar with the name Fig, and with good reason. Mrs. Fig, who lives down the road from Harry's house in Pivot Drive, is a squib and a member of the Order of the Phoenix, who has been watching over Harry. There seems to be no direct link between Professor Fig and Mrs. Fig, and indeed the spelling of Fig is different. Due to this, I believe that there is actually no connection between the two Figs, which is a rather big shame in my personal opinion, as it is clear that Professor Fig is an amazing character, and indeed, had he have still been around, would have been a perfect fit for the Order of the Phoenix. So what do you think of Professor Fig? Let me know in the comments down below. But for now, I will leave you with my opinion. The mission that we see Professor Fig and his student go through in search of ancient magic and all of the trials is very similar to me of the one that Harry and Dumbledore share when finding and tracking down the Horcruxes. I think Professor Fig was a fantastic character that we did not get to scrape the surface of. And with that, I will end it here. Thanks for watching, and smash a like if you enjoyed the video, and please hit that subscribe if you think I deserve it. And by all means, let me know what you think in the comments down below, or let me know if there's anybody else who you would like me to cover. I'll see you later, and thanks for watching. Take care, losers.